Over many millennia, the biblical prohibition against the creation of graven images has kept Jewish artisans confined from producing crafts in Jewish ceremonial art known as Judaica. In 19th century Europe, however, Jewish painters began to break those bonds to venture into the world of the so-called forbidden arts. A new exhibit at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem has collected the works of these pioneering artists, and IBA's Aryeh O'Sullivan received his own first-hand glimpse at the display.
Before there was Chagall, Soutine, and Modigliani, there was Pinchas, Gottlieb, Oppenheim, and Kaufmann, the pioneers who paved the way for Jews to enter the art world previously closed to them. This new exhibit, making an entrance, introduces us to the little-known figures of Jewish painters of 19th century Europe who broke traditions and overcame barriers to paint.
This exhibition is a great story. It's like Jewish artists coming out of the closet in the 19th century in Europe. Of course, in Europe in the 19th century, there was a kind of renaissance of Jewish life, because somehow in that period you could be, of course, Jewish, but you could also lead an assimilated life. And it was a century where a new kind of balance between leading a Jewish life and living in an assimilated culture formed.
Artists include works from Moritz Oppenheim, who painted portraits of the Rothschilds, to Isidor Kaufmann, who focused on the life in the shtetl. It wasn't easy to be a Jewish artist.
These young men like Oppenheim and Vito d'Ancona and later on Rebecca Solomon in London had to, first of all, overcome the obvious, apprehension, the questions in their parents' eyes of why become an artist? This is not the Jewish thing to do.
What we saw was, in the beginning, during the Enlightenment, a desire to join the rest of the artistic world and paint like them.
The thing that happened was that they shied away from the normal, regular Jewish scenes. They didn't want to paint the rabbi they left behind. They wanted to play with new subjects. They wanted to do nude, they wanted to do portrait, they wanted to depict landscapes.
Solomon Pinchas was one of the first. His portraits of Israel Jacobson, the father of Reformed Judaism, and his wife Mink, her head uncovered and full of avant-garde ringlets, is from 1808. Others depicted portraits of Jewish families and even nudes. Oppenheim's portrait of Charlotte Rothschild is juxtaposed with Charlotte's own self-portrait, where the toll of marriage can be seen.
There was something, there was a genius in the sense of a spirit. I would also say there was also a bit of chutzpah on their side. They were, in that sense, they were very much Jewish. They didn't give up. They didn't say, okay, maybe if I'll become an artist, my family would be frowned upon in the community. Or maybe they won't expect me in the academy. Or maybe even if I will go to the academy, they won't present me in exhibitions. They didn't let themselves fall into those pitfalls. Instead, they said, no, we're as good as anyone else.
But towards the end of the 19th century, the Jewish artists became nostalgic for their roots and began capturing Jewish events.
In the Israel Museum, we don't consider Jewish art as a category. We have art by Jewish artists. And really, in a way, what you're seeing here is the beginning of the notion of fine art by Jewish artists.
Making an entrance will be on display through July 2014. Aryeh O'Sullivan for IBA News.